I think this might be the first time I've ever addressed in a video the Russian on my channel, as far as making him a focal point in the topic in which I'm going to discuss. But of course, it's not going to just be about him. It's going to also be involving Taraji P Henson as well. So as you know, Taraji P Henson came out a couple weeks ago maybe, where she expressed how she is not getting paid what she feels she deserves to be paid in Hollywood. You know, she's been in this industry pretty much since I was a child back in the 90s, and she feels that she's being severely underpaid for her work. And how, you know, she pretty much expressed in a very emotional way on various interviews about the pay disparity, and then on top of that, how when she's paid all of this money, how it has to be, you know, split up and divvied out to the people like her team and whatnot. And then of course, you know, she gets whatever is left over. Basically, when she gets paid, she's one of the last ones to receive. Everyone else gets paid before her, and she's like the last to pay herself as far as when she does particular projects, but she still feels that she is severely underpaid. Now just think about it, this woman is an Oscar nominated actress. A lot of people think, oh, she got nominated for an Oscar, even though she didn't win, she should definitely be paid more, because that is an accolade in itself just to be nominated. But that's not the case. Think about it, she got nominated for a movie that she did back in 2008. It's now 2024. Some people probably don't even know that she was nominated for an Oscar, and if you told them that she would ask them for what movie. But if you told them it was for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, it's like, oh, okay, it came to mind, but they wouldn't think of her, they would think of Brad Pitt, because he was the star of the movie. But she definitely played a significant role in it as well. And she basically, like I said, goes on about it. She also talked about how what she had to do when they was on the Color Purple set. If y'all follow me, I talked about it in a couple of my live streams, but I never talked about it in a full-blown video. Well, fast forward to right now, where apparently the Russian, this guy right here to the left of her, one of the biggest culture vultures of this century, was on some interview where he basically came out and said, you know, disparaging things about Taraji P Henson and her talking about what's going on with her pay. He chalked it up to she's just complaining. No one wants to hear, like, let me actually read to you the quote that he gave. No one wants to hear a millionaire complain that they didn't get more millions. She didn't say that. She just said that she feels like she's not being paid her worth. She said she's put in all this work in the industry for so many years, and she feels like she's still being lowballed as far as the pay goes, which lets you know that even inside of Hollywood, black people are still getting the short end of the stick as far as the pay goes, especially if you are a black woman. That's what she was saying. But he chalked it up to just simply complaining, and I'm not surprised, because that's the same thing that PC tells us, you know, those of us who are just regular everyday folks, to just stop complaining, just pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. If you just work hard enough, you'll get there. That's easy for them to say when they've already have the lane paved with gold already laid out for them. I mean, look at people like a Charlie Kirk. This man dropped out of junior college, and I will never stop saying that. And look at the platform he has now. It's people who have multiple degrees and aren't even making nearly as much as he is. And the thing that he has to do is he has to put out a lot of propaganda in order to keep himself afloat. But the fact is, he's putting that propaganda out there about us that's keeping him afloat, and people buy into it, thus his pockets continue to be lined. And something else I found out about him is that a lot of his organizations, quote unquote, have landed in various schools, which is also very dangerous when you think about it, but that's another topic for another day. But back to this, I'm gonna read this article coming from Hot New Hip Hop, and then we'll go from there. All kinds of unsavory behavior in the entertainment industry is coming to light as of late, from Jeffrey Epstein's infamous list to Taraji P Henson educating folks on how economic disparity continues to run rampant for her and her contemporaries. She often appears to be booked and busy out of sheer demand for her talent. However, the Color Purple actress says she takes on so many jobs out of necessity to support her team. Many are rallying behind Henson, demanding fair pay for black women, though DJ Vlad isn't, and I don't know why they call him DJ Vlad, or DJ anything, isn't impressed to hear someone with more money than him complaining. And I think that's what it all boils down to. If y'all remember the live stream that I did where I was talking about Dr. King and how, you had people like Robert Kennedy Jr. and Charlie Kirk and Mark Robinson coming for him, and this man, when I talked about Charlie Kirk and how he was saying how Dr. King has this God tier like complex or whatever. First off, Dr. King is no longer allowed to defend himself against such accusations. Number two, no one's holding him up and calling him a god. That's the same thing they did with George Floyd and trying to say he was a martyr. We didn't call him a martyr. Y'all did. Charlie Kirk, we didn't call Dr. King a god. You called him that. Y'all, listen, I'm glad I don't live inside of the PC mind, because it is worse than a maze at this point. But the fact that she has more money than him, because he's going to go down and break down her numbers, because why not? He's pocket watching as usual. That for him already pisses him off. How dare this black woman have more money than me and then have the nerve to quote unquote complain? Those are his words, to complain about wanting more money. As Hollywood Unlocked reports, the controversial journalist was interviewing, and that's putting it loosely, calling him a journalist, was interviewing frequent guest Matt Hoffa. I don't know why black people continue to go on his show. Like, I think that's just going to be one of the biggest mysteries to the end of his existence. When he went off on a rant about the beloved entertainer, he's quoted as saying, "Here's the bigger problem no one wants to hear. A millionaire complained that they didn't get more millions. You're already a millionaire," the Vlad TV founder said. "Taraji lives in a $6 million house and she's worth $12 million. Nobody wants to hear Vlad complain about money." So he already went and looked up her net worth. First off, the fact that this woman's even worth $12 million, and you look at the vast career that she's had and the money she's made for herself, as well as the movies have grossed over the years, she should have way more than that. Some people will say, oh, she's probably didn't make good investments, which is why her pay or her net worth seems stagnant, but that may not always be the case. Who knows? She might actually be making some quiet investments that people do not know about. You are allowed to do that. You don't have to tell everybody every move that you make. But to me, it just seems that Vlad is hating on her because this black woman is being more successful than him, and he has to find a way to take a dig at her. We've been told people about this dude for so long now. I don't know why people continue to give this man all kinds of attention. I know people are saying, well, Torian, you say that right now, but you're doing a video. But listen, it's proving a bigger point at the end of the day. The fact that this PC man, who's not even from here, by the way, or does not have any type of connection to this establishment whatsoever, is using the same talking points that those who were here always use on us every single day. But remember what we told you, Dub S is global. This is who he is, but unfortunately people will continue to go on his show. Now Taraji's gonna find out one way or another how many friends she really has in this industry, if she's friends with anybody who still continues to go on his show. And I'm gonna keep on going, continuing with the article. It says, as expected, Henson's fans have plenty to say about this. One person says, nobody wants to hear white male opinions on black American female inequalities. One Instagram comment beneath a video of Vlad's rant read, "With all due respect, keep black women out of your mouth, sir. Thank you." Someone else urged the content creator. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to post up some of the responses that people did leave on Instagram. So as you can see right there, this is what people had to say as it pertained to what he said. I'm not surprised this is not the response. I'm not surprised that he said this about her. He feels that, oh, she was an easy target, let me go after her. He feels like this is probably going to garner views for him and his show, so people can go ahead and watch it, because nowadays everyone's trying to grab something in order to get views and clicks and everything like that. I don't know if anyone's paid attention to it or not, but his numbers are nowhere near as high as they once were. Let's just consider that a good thing, thank God, but this puts into perspective what people have been saying over the years about this dude. This dude is as shady as they come. He is very anti-black. He is most definitely a culture vulture, and he is not to be trusted. Now, I don't know if Taraji is going to hear about this and say something, but if I was her, I would highly suggest that she does not say anything in response, because she will be feeding into his personal machine, which is for him to say, oh, she responded back to me, so let me go ahead and respond back. He's going to do this to try to get clicks and views. At this point, Taraji, just let the fans handle it for you. They have no problem, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to lose. And I'm sure I'm sure people out there are going to have no problem coming out to defend you. However, on the flip side, going back to what I said in the live stream pertaining to her in this situation, I said what Taraji just needs to do is maybe do some independent films for a while. They don't have to be the lowest of the lowest budget, but maybe do some independent films for a while, something for herself. And that way she can control the atmosphere of it and then work their way up. I mean, look at what Keanu Reeves did with John Wick. It started off as a pretty low budgeted film, and you're talking about a guy who has a very overwhelming and outstanding career prior to that, especially with the Matrix films. He could have kept on going and doing some big budgeted films, but he said, you know what, I'm gonna slow down, take some time off, and I'm gonna do my own thing. He made the first John Wick phenomenal. Came back with the second one with a slightly bigger budget, did wonderful. Came back with John Wick Chapter 3, and the budget was through the roof. At this point, it was big time. And then he closes it out with John Wick Chapter 4 with a bang, and they just kept getting better and better and better every time. Maybe that's what Taraji needs to do. And then more and more people are going to see, okay, this woman, she stepped out on faith. She actually decided to do something for herself that is made by her, and see exactly where it headed. Jordan Peele is the same way. When he did Get Out was made on a small budget, and it didn't even take long for them to film it, and it became a runaway hit. So many think pieces behind it, and now he's about to do his 4th movie. So I think that, again, Taraji needs to do something on an independent circuit for a little bit. Step away from the big budgeted films, because we've already seen and you've already proven your talent over the years. You really have nothing more left to prove. So now just do something more smaller based. Maybe get a couple of people that are willing to work with you, because she knows a lot of people in the industry, and I'm sure they would have no problem working with her, and go from there. And also, this proves yet again why I said people like Vlad have gotten way too comfortable, because he would not dare open up his mouth and say this about a white actress if she came out and said the same thing. As a matter of fact, how many white actresses over the last couple of years, whether on their own platforms or on an award show, have been talking about the pay disparity and all types of stuff like that when it came to how they were not receiving the money they felt they received, even though the facts and figures and the numbers would probably show otherwise. I would like to see him to say that to a Meryl Streep, say that to a Julia Roberts, say that to a Sandra Bullock, say that to a Jennifer Lawrence, say that to a Natalie Portman, say that to a Demi Moore. I mean, the list can go on, but we know he won't say it, because if he did, he probably would have said it already about some of those actresses, or the other PC actresses, again, who have said something about they feel like they are not getting paid what they feel they deserve. Again, he's gotten way too comfortable, and unfortunately a lot of black entertainers have made him very comfortable. It has been high time that we have made him very uncomfortable. That's just my own personal take on it though. Y'all let me know what you think.